Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The race starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Since 1960, the NASCAR Cup Series has gone to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the home of NASCAR. Tonight, the Midwest Motorsports Cup Series will go for its longest race of the season, a 300-lap race tonight with currently 18 cars registered and signed up and have qualified. And Ty Williams has put it on the pole. Congrats to Ty Williams on the Patriotic longest race of the season. Track conditions look perfect tonight. I'm James J., joined with Michael Harris. Michael, how's it going tonight? Welcome, and longest race of the year. What do you think we're going to see tonight in the Cup Series?
Well, hey there, James. Hello there, audience. And, tonight's going pretty well. I can't complain too much. It's a lot warmer down here in Charlotte than it is up in cold New Hampshire. I think we're going to see a lot of green flag runs, a lot of green flag pitting, and there may be some cautions here and there, maybe a late race caution that adds a little tension here. But for the most part, these guys are relatively clean, so I can't see much going on. A lot of beautiful paint schemes. That much is true right here, as well as the cars start rolling on the front stretch.
Awesome. Congrats to Ty Williams for putting it on the pole. Dustin Reinstedel is going to share the front row with him. Eric Thaler and Walker McNulty share row 2. Justin Thaler, Sean Cunningham share row 3. James Olabison and Ant Castor row 4. Aaron Holroyd, Trevor McLaughlin row 5. Andrew Miller, Clarence Prince row 6. Steve Hansel, welcome back, Steve Hansel, to the Cup Series. And Clarence Prince, Brandon Cotton, Chris Thaler, Norm Snyder round out the field with Jason Huffman and Brandon Thayer starting in pit lane after incident responsibility at their last races. And they're coming to the green. Lights are out on Barney. We're going to go green for 300 laps. Competition caution will come in at lap 20. Ty Williams, once again, congrats to you for starting on the pole. And that beautiful cherry Coke, red, white, and blue, number 81 is going to start us off. Eric Thaler in the 15. Right behind him, then Justin Thaler. And we are coming to the green flag on Albert Williams, Ty Williams.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
The 300-lap Charlotte race has started. 2x2 so far, all the way around. They exit turn 2, right into your living room down the long back stretch. Past Big Hoss, big Jumbotron on the back stretch. Looks like Eric Thaler and Sean Cunningham. No, that's Walker McNulty. Gets by. Sean Cunningham and Eric Thaler make it clean. 2x2 behind. Trevor McLaughlin in the white ghost paint tonight. Side by side with Justin Thaler. Dropped a couple of positions, but up front, no big change. Ty Williams has Dustin Reinstedel right on his bumper to complete the first lap. We're underway, Michael.
That we are. It'll be interesting to see the strategies in play tonight. 300 laps going on. Comp caution at lap 20. We'll see how these guys decide to pick their lanes here, as it looks like Eric Thaler back there choosing the high lines to the corners. We see most of the other drivers sticking towards that low line. JT also joining Eric up there on the top lane. Sean looked like earlier tried, maybe just because he was on the outside to start, but looks like he's settling in on the lower line there. But we'll see which strategy pans out more, who's going to burn that rubber, who's going to hold on to it, because 300 laps on 5 additional sets of tires. That's going to make for some interesting pit strategy.
That's right. Speaking of strategy, we're looking at 23 to 28 laps on fuel, maybe 30 if you can really stretch it. We go side by side, Sean Cunningham in the Go Army, number 71. Inside Eric Thaler, Justin Thaler's right behind to pick up any pieces. Sean Cunningham in the 71 down low has made the pass. He's clear. He leaves room on the exit until he slides up in front of Eric Thaler. Moves the 71 up a spot. Nice move. Up in front looks like Walker McNulty and Dustin Reinstedel side by side. This is the three-way battle for the lead.
It sure is. Dustin's getting a run here or there. Been keeping a close eye on them, but Walker's not giving up there on that outside line. Ty's kind of bouncing between the two as he's got fresh, clean air and he's been able to keep them both in check. Almost feels like the old arcade on NASCAR Thunder, but Walker's getting a run on the outside. Ty can't go back up there now. See what happens through turns 3 and 4.
Walker McNulty has come from behind Dustin Reinstedel. He's up 3 spots. Now takes the lead. Drops down in front of Ty Williams. What a battle. 3-way lead. Walker McNulty got side by side with Dustin. They both caught Ty Williams. These Cup cars fixed setup, so it's only the driver that makes the difference here and where they conserve tires and how they gather speed. And Walker McNulty has figured it out with the slipstream, got it just right, and the battling has allowed Sean Cunningham and Justin Thaler to catch back up to these guys as well. So we're looking at a 5-way battle for the lead. This is the race for the front. Dustin Reinstedel goes inside Ty Williams. Let's see if he can make it stick. Down low, Ty Williams going the wrong way. Maybe conserving a little bit of tires. This may help him out in the future. Might also help him conserve a little fuel. This early in the race, like we said, 23 to 28 laps. We're looking at 11 to 12 pit stops as Dustin Reinstedel goes down on the blue line off the corner of Walker McNulty. So Dustin Reinstedel now takes over the P1. See if he can bring it home across the stripe as these Cup cars are showing how to drive the iRacing League Next Gen Cup car. Walker McNulty claims the lead on this lap, but he has 0 time over Dustin Reinstedel. See if Dustin slides up in front of him this time. And he does. Dustin Reinstedel takes over the point as Justin Thaler has also got around Ty Williams. So just 2 or 3 laps up front. Did he damage his tires? Michael, you were in the truck race Friday. What was the tire fall off like?
Well, it really depended on the line and the speed you were putting in, plus the damage there. So, considering he hasn't really bumped the wall or grazed the wall too much too soon, he might have changed his strategy. I know he's fighting Justin right now, but I mean, I'd say that fall off can be pretty quick. You know, if you're racing hard and you're just barreling through those corners, you can have that fall off happen as soon as 10 laps in. If you're easy, you're doing easy going, you can probably get about 20 laps before those start to really burn off too bad. And at that point, you know, most of the other drivers are having their issues by then. So,
right on, gotcha. Trevor McLaughlin has also moved up 4 spots since his starting position as he's pulled away from Andrew Miller and Eric Thaler, who are fighting it out back here. This is for 7th and 8th. Eric reclaims the spot. Or does he? Andrew Miller doing a good job, rocking the red, white, and blue paint again, the Patriotic race for NASCAR and the Patriotic race for the Midwest Motorsports. Stars and stripes, lots of red, white, and blue up and down the field. Thanks to everybody for participating and changing your paint scheme, even if it's just for one race. I think you might like it so much, it might bring you luck. You might even keep the paint scheme.
I know in the truck race, Nick Aslin, he changed up his paint scheme to that Pepsi sponsor there, and that color scheme, and I know in the chat he was all excited about it. He thought this is going to be the new permanent scheme.
Well, even the roof got some asphalt rubbing on that paint job. If you missed Friday's Truck Series race, Nick Laslin did a 360 on the roof, came right into the pits like it was planned. That's the Truck Series. We're back to the Road Series. I'm sorry, the Cup Series. Sunday nights, and Justin Thaler has also got around Ty Williams, and now Justin Thaler's working his way around the 12 car of Walker McNulty. And Justin Thaler hold on a second. They're side by side through turns 1 and 2, and now down the back stretch. Walker McNulty edges ahead, but he's going to take the high line. Walker's able to hold the spot for now. Justin is not going to go anywhere. We're approaching the lap 20 competition caution. No points, just a little break to reshuffle and stretch your legs, grab a drink of water, and get ready for the rest of the race. What do you think of the new rules this year with competition caution as opposed to the stages, Michael? How's that worked out on the trucks?
Well, it certainly brings a different change, a different atmosphere to the type of racing that you got. You kind of go back to the older style of racing that most of us grew up with, where you're just kind of hanging around, picking your strategy, see if you can get up the front, see where you can be competitive, see what kind of changes you need to make to your car, whether it's brake bias in our case or even steering ratio. And you get your 20 laps in this case, or 15 laps, I believe we had you Friday. And it was a nice little break. Stages, it was a bit competitive. You're trying to get to that 10th place, make some points, make some noise. So you saw a little bit more action towards the end of each stage. But in the grand scheme of things, a lot of people like this style where it's just competition caution. And we have less accidents that way, I think, because not everybody's all focused on trying to get up 3 spots in the next 2 laps when you got another 200 laps to go,
That's right. These guys are still duking it out back here. That's a great point. You respect your neighbors, respect your fellow racer, and just make it to the competition caution. Then go racing after that. Plenty of racing ahead and no points. So I think it's calmed some of the early aggression down. It makes for a more fun league race. Remember, we're racing these guys week after week, race after race. Same guys. So looks like Eric Taylor just barely beat Aaron Holroyd back to the competition caution, but Dustin Reinstedel will take us to the competition caution, and my guess is down pit lane. And everybody will get a chance to top off as the back markers. Brandon Cotton again does a good job conserving his tires and drops to the back and just goes super easy until the competition caution. Try not to go a lap down. They should be coming by any minute, but Dustin Reinstedel on the 11 brings it home after starting on the front row. Ty Williams drops back to 4th, your pole sitter. Chris Thaler is your biggest mover.
Everybody coming on in, probably getting a splash of gas. I don't know if anybody's going to put any tires on this time, but I've seen 1 or 2, try it out, see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's way early to make any changes to your tire strategy. Just kind of run with what you got going. Dustin Reinstedel tops off. Everybody lines up behind him. Any other races off of pit lane that I can see?
T-Mac getting about 5 spots there on that pit stop. It's a little splash and go action.
John Cunningham, yeah, T-Mac gained a bunch of spots.
And it looks like Chris Thaler also gaining some spots there. He's up to 13th now, 5 spots ahead of where he started from.
That's right. So good on Justin Thaler. I'm sorry, Justin Thaler dropped a spot. Not what he wanted. Sean Cunningham. All good. That's just a matter of getting in your pit box and stopping the car in order to get completely stopped to get the fuel can in. How do you gain time on a pit lane stop under caution? Everybody needs the same amount of fuel.
Pretty much, it all depends on how you drive in pit lane and how you leave. I mean, if you get the front box there, with like Dustin did, you can just easily scoot by the line. But if you're having issues sticking around the pit speed limit, then it can be troublesome. Sometimes you can go fudge it a little bit, go like a mile over for a little bit. But if you're driving, say, 55 miles an hour at pit limit, and somebody else is driving 50, you're going to gain some time on them.
Sure. No pit lane speed limiter on the steering wheel for these guys, so got to know your numbers. That's a great point there, Michael. And also want to notice that Brandon Cotton, his total time stopped was 7.22. Trained up a couple of spots. Ty Williams, 9.20 time stop. So I'm not sure if he had trouble finding the gear to grab it to get out or what happened, but he was stationary for 9.2 seconds, and that dropped him back a couple of spots. It's not the end of the world at this point in the race, but it might be as the race continues. Let's see what happens as they're lining up 2 by 2. The lights are off on the pace car. We're going to go green flag from here to the end. Only natural cautions from here on out. And Dustin Reinsdale on the outside is going to be the control car as he takes off. Everybody else doubles up. Sean Cunningham right on Walker McNulty's bumper. Ty Williams 2 cars off of Justin Thaler on the outside lane. As they sweep around the exit of turn 2 onto the back stretch, Sean Cunningham slides up in front of Ty Williams. On the outside, Justin Thaler on the inside, Walker McNulty. Great battle here as they cross. All this going on right in front of Sean Cunningham and Ty Williams.
Nice battle of, what did you say that is? 6 cars? 7 cars even, including Eric Thaler there.
Riding with Ty Williams, looking up at the leaders. Trying to pick a lane.
Ooh, a little bump there by JT.
Yep.
Nobody really getting a big edge right now, but JT is used to running that high line here so far today. Sean's kind of picking and choosing, trying to do the racing line, see where he can get. And Ty Williams is going to force his way, or at least try to make a look. Not so much. Come on. But right behind him, T-Mac and Aaron Holroyd joined in. As Eric Thaler dropping back a little bit. Maybe he's just conserving more tires.
Avoiding the battle, Walker McNulty stays high to let Sean Cunningham take the blue line down low, and Justin Thaler up to P2. Justin Thaler is long overdue for a good run. I like seeing Justin up front in the number 2 car. The CEO of Midwest Motorsports, the other founding brother.
And the defending champion.
And the Cup Series champion from last season. Good looking out.
Speaking of winners and champions, Dustin Reinsdale winning last week out here, setting the pace. So far, we've had 5 different winners this season in the Cup Series, Dustin being the latest of them. Ty Williams, who got pole this race, has the most wins this season with 2. So we'll see if Dustin can add his name to that list of 2 separate drivers with 2 wins.
Nice.
Or if maybe Justin there, if he can sneak in, Justin or Sean can add their name to the list to make it 6.
You'd have a new first-time winner as well. You're right. Justin Taylor, Sean Cunningham side by side off of turn 4 into the double dogleg. Charlotte Motor Speedway's 1.5-mile track. Run the road course, the Roval they call it. In the Cup Series, we'll probably, I don't know if it's on the schedule calendar for this year. I'll take a look in a second, but same track, different layout, but the double dogleg. The Oval Series is definitely a lot of fun to drive. It takes a different racing line. It comes at you different. The corners feel a little bit different than any other track. Even a double dogleg like Atlanta or Texas, they all have their own uniqueness.
That is a yes to that question there, James. The Bank of America Roval 400 will be Sunday, October 5th for the NASCAR Cup Series.
All right.
Ends out the round of 12.
Long season this year. Glad everybody's racing with us. Welcome to Midwest Motorsports. This is what we expect to be. Great, clean green flag racing. Side by side with Trevor McLaughlin now. He is working on the inside. John Cunningham dropping back. John Cunningham fighting back for it, but he lost a couple spots there really quickly. Sorry you missed it when I was zoomed out a little bit. But we'll catch up to it. It's all good. Lots of racing left. Lap 32 of 300.
We made it a 10th of the way, James.
That's right. Only 9 more 30-lap runs to go. It came in at lap 20. We should be looking for pit stops around 50 to 60, 55, lap 55 or so.
Yeah, I'm not expecting much more for the cautions to come into play yet. We'll see as the tires start falling off and see how the drivers handle the side-by-side with the tire fall off. Most of the time, these guys are really good with the cars, and it's been a treat to see. Like we saw with the Truck Series, only 2 cautions, including the comp caution. But tire fall off, you never know. Somebody might just hit the apron, just a incorrect spot, go 3 wide where they didn't mean to. But as James was just saying, you probably see him coming in around 50, even 55. Some might even slave up to lap 60. And we'll probably see tires at that point in time.
Into the wall for Aaron Holroyd as we're riding on the nose of the Ghost car of Walker McNulty. He goes inside the 73 U.S. Area Insurance car of Aaron Holroyd. If he gets a bump draft, he's trying to cross over. Nice little slipstream here for these two, as it creates an opportunity for Sean Cunningham to get back by Aaron Holroyd. Not yet, as this time Trevor Mack scrapes the fence, brushes the fence. Trying to get everything you can out of these corners, out of these tires as they change throughout a stint. Michael, you mentioned earlier 10 laps or so is when you start to really feel the change in the tire grip. We're about that point. 15 laps since the caution and restart.
I've kind of noticed a little bit of it with Sean.
Yeah. Sorry, say that again, Michael.
I'm sorry, too. You're kind of noticing it. It looks like a little bit with Sean there as he's kind of falling back a little bit. He could probably be trying to fit in a little groove there, but times are starting to get a little bit longer.
Right down to a 30.5, where earlier almost a second slower a second faster at 29.6 for their best laps.
Current fastest lap time is looks like Walker McNulty, who said it earlier on in the race, at 29.589. His last lap was 30.832. One of the slower cars out there, so trying to hold on to what he's got on them rubbers.
Great four-way battle for fourth. Five-way battle with Eric Thaler now creeping in as well. Six-way battle as they've caught up to Justin Thaler. So it looks like they're working three wide. Ty Williams on the inside. Eric Thaler on the outside. Right behind Aaron Holroyd, kind of drops back to the middle, backs it up right in front of the 81. 81 has nowhere to go. Now he drops down inside. Look at Eric Thaler in the 15. He is coming up on Sean Cunningham. They go across the start-finish line one more time. Eric Thaler.
And he's going to get that on Cunningham there as Ty Williams scoots his way up to Sean Cunningham.
Eric Thaler, crosses over. What a move. Trevor McLaughlin going low. Eric Thaler sees it coming and pushes right behind him. Nowhere for Trevor to go. Can't come back. He's got a car on the outside. As Eric Thaler, the godfather of Midwest Motorsports, one of the founding brothers, Justin's brother. And now it's Dustin Rystettle up front. Justin Thaler, the CEO, right in front of Eric Thaler, the godfather. Eric saved some tires on the first half of this stint, and it has paid off. As he goes inside Justin Thaler now, the race for second. Eric Thaler's on the hunt.
He's on the move now for sure. They're definitely keeping it clean. There's some brotherly love going on here.
Bragging rights for the holiday season on the line. I know we're inside of 50 laps, but Eric Thaler is up to P2 from just P7 not 15 laps ago. Not 10 laps ago, really. So Eric Thaler, the dog has found the scent, and he is on the hunt.
The boss is on the move.
1.7 seconds up the road. Gonna have to work to get there, but man, what a move. Eric Thaler found another gear. Aaron Holroyd drops back. Get two different packs. Then 2 seconds back to Walker McNulty, leading a group. These guys are too much fun to watch. I don't want to leave the front. Looks like Justin Thaler might be coming in for pits as we are at lap 45, 46.
Leaders are in. Dustin and Justin are in the pits right now. Leaves the boss right out in front and getting some lap time.
That's right. Eric Thaler in the Midwest Motorsports 15 leads the way. Trevor McLaughlin finally comes in. Eric stretches fuel 3 or 4 laps in the truck race Friday night as well. Eric was able to get an extra 3 laps out of his tank than everybody else in the truck series. Of course, that was Friday. Today is Sunday.
2/10 of a second. That's what Justin gained on Dustin there in the pit lane. Is a 14.85 for Justin's pit stop there. Dustin at a 15.08. You get to see that 71 machine. Sean Cunningham leading the way with Ty Williams right behind him. Brandon Cotton, who earlier was the back marker before the comp caution, he's up in third now with Walker McNulty, Brandon Thayer, and Ant Castor still out there driving around.
Brandon Cotton also very good with his strategy. He ended up on the podium Friday night. Let's see if he can do it again tonight as he stays out with Sean Cunningham. Guys are working lap 48, going to run their fuel tank all the way to the end. As Eric Thaler comes back on the track from the lead, he's going to go a lap down. The green flag stops are definitely going to cost you a lap. As Sean Cunningham goes down into the pit lane, Brandon Cotton stays out. He has completed his 30 laps since the pits. Amazing, incredible job to stretch the fuel that far. 2 laps or 4 laps doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I tell you, over 5 stints, that ends up being 20 laps. You can have 20 laps pressure tires and everybody else just by taking them 3 or 4 laps per set. As Eric Thaler now takes off to try to get his lead back. Brandon Cotton comes in for the lead from the lead. Now Cunningham working his way back onto the track. Out of pit road, Eric Thaler came in leading, and he's now only has Ant Castor.
I don't know how he's done it, but he hasn't pit since lap 20, that Ant Castor dude.
Yep, let's not forget about him. Of course, he's coming in now. That red, white, and blue number 8 looks great. Ant, thanks for changing your paint up tonight. We'll come back to that for sure. But Eric Thaler reclaims the lead as Anthony Castor is the last one to pit. And he is almost 9/10 of a second in front of Dustin Ryan-Stedel. And also 2 laps pressure tires for Eric Thaler. So that is cautionary tale. I'm making notes. Michael, what do you think?
Well, after that pit stop and that cycle's gone through, you know, Dustin back up there, just less than 2/10 of a second ahead. His lead definitely a lot shorter right now than it was before the pit cycle. So I'd say Eric Thaler, he did not take a full set of tires. So we'll see how that pans out for him. If he just took right sides only and fuel. How that's going to work out right now. He's dropped to 3/4 of a second back. So we'll see how that goes. But Dustin definitely, Dustin and Justin, the ones to look out for now as the cycle has finished up.
Right on. We're rewinding to a place on the stream. Right here, there's been some argy-bargy on pit lane. Let's see what happens. This is Norm Snyder, and we're going to be looking back on Chris Thaler, I believe. As they're getting their stop, completing their tire stop, Luke Bryan on the front of Norm Snyder's car. As they're working on completing their stop, I went back farther, and looks like Chris drove right through Norm. I guess in the pit box, there's no interference, so maybe my eyes deceived me. But yeah, that happens sometimes. I guess you just drive through them if they're in the pits.
So one nice thing about iRacing is you can be in that pit box and don't have to worry about somebody ruining your day. Oh, by the way, Toby Keith is on the car just like on the truck.
I said Luke Bryan. I meant Toby Keith. You tell I don't listen to a whole lot of country, but
something about tractors and girls that like them.
There you go. All good. So 2-tire deal. What do you think about that?
Well, based on the time frame, it's not looking good for Eric to be up front. I'm not sure the benefit right now at this point. Maybe he's just trying to see if that's something that'll work out later on. With the timing that he gained from that. Obviously, it works a lot better when you're pitting it right by the leader to make that change and then be ahead of the leader. But it's early on in the race. We're only 57, almost 57 laps in, a 300-mile race, so it's not bad to mess around too much. He may not even have new tires. I'm kind of over.
Yeah, that's a zero-time change. Zero-time stop, so he's saving the set. He is going to be able to put tires on every other stint where somebody might have to take, a third stop on every third stop. So math wasn't my least favorite subject, but it definitely wasn't my first. It's all good.
I sat there with 56 to go on Friday going, I should have taken a set of tires. The math's not working out. I should be able to do that. No, I shouldn't. If I do, then I'm going to be on old tires. The math was just not fun on Friday night, and I'm sure it's not as easy for these guys tonight.
And drive as well, doing the math and do the driving. It's all right. Let's talk about some live racing with Trevor Mack, Brandon Cotton, Sean Cunningham, and Jason Huffman. These guys are having a ding-dong battle, trying to decide who is going to have 7th place for now. Sean Cunningham, Jason Huffman wants it from a pit lane start. Jason switched up paint a little bit tonight. Usually running a little bit different paint, I think. I could be wrong, but
it looks similar to the last time I saw him at New Hampshire, but I will say that comp caution certainly benefited him, and it certainly benefited Brandon Thayer, who's currently in 5th place. But yeah, exciting battle here for 7th place for sure, and Huffman making the most of his that new lease on life that gives, that Mobil 1 machine.
Yes, he is. He's gotten around Sean Cunningham and Trevor McLaughlin. Good to see Jason Huffman with a good run. He's overdue for a strong finish, a podium as well. These guys are starting to finally stretch it out a little bit and get back into the rhythm. Very much a rhythm track. The double dog leg, right?
That it is, especially with the length of the race too. You get your rhythm going, and as long as you don't have the heated seats, I was telling Norm and everybody else that they might need tonight, you don't need any help falling asleep.
Yeah. Pay attention as Justin Thaler makes easy work of his brother Eric. But remember, Justin took tires. Eric did not. Eric went 2 laps farther than Justin and Dustin on fuel. But Eric again took no tires, and it's taken this long for Justin to catch him. So I don't think this 3rd stint was really that bad for Eric, but it does mean that Eric has an extra set of tires now in the pits than everybody else. So if everybody else takes their tires on a rhythm, Eric is kind of off rhythm of that sequence. So you're either going to be a hero or falling backwards easily. Aaron Holroyd must have taken tires because he's moving up as well.
Yeah, he took tires, 15-second pit stop there as he passes Eric Thaler. He's looking. Oh, he did a twofer.
He's trying. He's not clear yet. Let's see. Going down the back stretch. It looks like he's clear now if he wants it. Justin Thaler.
Yeah, he's got it.
Give it to him. Nice job. Aaron Holroyd moves up to P2. Aaron is currently serving in the Air Force and feeding, working in the galley. Thanks, Aaron, for your service. We really appreciate all you do for our country, man. And that USAA Insurance paint looks killer tonight.
Absolutely.
All our veterans for serving, protecting our freedom, protecting our country. We appreciate each and every one of you. On this patriotic weekend, thanks, Aaron, for finding the time in between your duties at work, on base, to race with us. Turned out to be a pretty good racer as well. Aaron makes a lot of the paints that we see on the track. I know he made one for Eric, the Midwest Motorsport paint. Has he made any paints for you yet, Michael?
He has not, but to be fair, I am stubborn to make my own.
Okay, yeah, cool. It's not easy. It could be fun. Definitely time consuming.
That it is.
But customize it the way you want it. That's the whole point.
If I put in the same amount of effort and time that Aaron would have, then I'd never be able to race.
Yeah, he's come up with some cool, really cool designs for everybody. We appreciate Aaron's contribution to the league for that. We got some movers. Oh, SDK just blinked out on me, I thought.
It did. Well, it looks like the number 11 in on the pits here is Aaron Holroyd will officially take the lead. He gets the lap, too.
There's Dustin Reinstadel, your leader. We'll see where he comes out. And this is...
This must be a splash and go. I guess I can't call it splash and go. Splash and go would be a little spritz. Oh, how the story builds here. There, James. How the story builds. How is this this choice going to be? This early choice here, where Justin and Dustin both came in at the same time. Eric held off a little bit, still hasn't taken tires, and he's got that extra set in the bag. And he also was able to spread out that fuel, so we'll see how well that pans out for Dustin, if that's just not going to be the winning strategy here tonight. I guess it also all depends on if we run green the entire way or not.
Working lap 72 now. Aaron Holroyd still out front. I know I hope Aaron is smiling in his seat. I'm happy for him. Got some more takers. Eric Thaler comes in.
T-Max in. Yeah, no, good for Aaron as he comes on into the pits here, leading several laps, showing everybody that 73 car can be competitive, and it's it's definitely different not seeing the Manscaped on there. That's for sure. So
I agree. Now he comes in. We'll see if he takes tires before we go back out to Brandon Thayer. Brandon Thayer's in the lead now. We'll get to him. Aaron looks like he keeps all four tires on the ground. So Brandon Thayer finally comes in from the lead. We haven't talked about Brandon much. Oh, he missed it. Comes back out. He was going too fast. So he decided to stay out. Instead of serving a drive-through, it's probably a good decision. That was a last-minute decision.
that just saved the race for him.
Yeah, it really did. See what happens. He's coming in. Drops to the line. Can't get it well down. Turns right at the last second. Gets it going again. All right, that's what happened to Brandon.
All that leaves Brandon Cotton and Sean Cunningham, apparently teammates in CCR Motorsports, up in the front, separated by 5 seconds from each other. As we continue to watch in on Brandon here.
Sorry about that.
We had Jason Huffman take tires. Eric Thaler took tires this time around. So far this pit cycle. And we'll see. Oh, looks like Ty Williams and, yeah, Brandon Thayer both took tires. A lot of fuel taken as well. So a couple guys are off the sequence. A couple guys are on the sequence. Cotton, Cunningham, and Castor all got at least the fuel advantage for now, I'd say. The fact that they've been able to get that gas tank to last as long could pay dividends in the end of the race, like you said earlier, James.
Yeah, Brandon's still going from lap 50. And did not take tires the first stop.
Sean just came in, so it's not a team decision here. Through this pit cycle here, we have 6 cars on the lead lap right as we're talking here. It's about to be 5.
Like Brandon is continuing to stay out. Coming up, see if he can make it all the way to lap 80 before pitting, as Ant Castor, who also went long on that first stint and did not take tires.
Looks like there's going to be, oh, hold on. SDK is doing some funky business here. A 10-second gap between Dustin Reinstell and Justin Thaler now, after Brandon Cotton's in the pits. Ant Castor took tires there.
No tires again for Brandon. He's going to be really hurting. But Dustin Reinstedel takes over the lead, reclaims the lead, as Ty Williams, Jason Huffman, Brandon Thayer are going to be the ones that took tires this cycle.
It's looking like about a good half of the field's now on that tire change sequence. We'll see how it changes, though. Like you said, Brandon not taking tires this time, so he's going 3 stints before taking tires, which, you know, helps towards the end of the race. Then you can kind of go a little bit further. You might be able to actually just change tires every time you come on in, get a nice fresh set, add some time, build that differential, and gain on the people ahead of you. There we go.
Lots of good strategies. My notebook is going crazy. Sorry if I felt distracted there. But just taking notes on who took tires, on what lap, and go back racing again. But strategies are all over the place. I mean, basically a 5 or 6 lap window. The latest pitter was Brandon Cotton at 79, and he is currently back in 7th place, but still without tires. We got a 3-way battle. This is the battle for the lead. Dustin Reinstedel. No, Justin Thaler's the next one. So these guys are unlapping themselves.
Yeah, that they are.
Right. So Dustin Reinstedel came in at 69. These guys all have a whole lap to make up now. So
Everybody-
Dustin Hospital played the right strategy Friday night. Do not count him out. Even though he may be stopping early, he has a plan. And he's working that plan to perfection right now. Everybody around him, a little bit newer tires, can go a little longer in fuel. We'll see where the math ends up, as it's just chaos in front of him. We're trying to get you there. Of course, keyboard not wanting to react. Quickly as Walker McNulty unlaps himself from Dustin, or tries to, as Dustin Reinstedt goes all the way up high into the fence, scrubs the wall, a little bit, keeps his position on Trevor Mack. The 7 of Chris Thaler.
So Walker trying to be the last guy on the lead lap there, trying to get around Dustin. Chris is trying to hold on. Doesn't seem he's able to just a moment here, but he will be the first car lap down until Dustin catch up to Andrew Miller.
That's if Walker and can stay in front. There's Andrew Miller right there. Chris Thaler's the black car in the number 7. He and Andrew Miller are racing for position.
10 cars, James. 10 cars. That's what we've got on the lead lap right now of the 18 drivers that started this race.
And then Trevor. All right, madness. Cars are everywhere up and down the field. Dustin Reinstedt has a 11-second lead over Justin Thaler in second. So right now the race is for second. I mean, with the 11-second lead, that's half a pit stop, just about. Well, a third of a pit stop, including the stop for fuel only. So
That is also gain too. Justin's not able to keep that pace going. He was at some point, 0.3 of a second faster than Dustin out there, but it's going to kind of rely on pit strategy here, and whatever happens, if there's ever a caution, to bunch them back together, whatever might have to take place. But Dustin kind of on cruise control right now. The closest battle right now is that battle for ninth spot, I believe, between Walker and Eric Thaler there. And the next closest towards the front of the racetrack is between Jason Huffman and Ty Williams, about a second between the two cars.
I'm hearing from race control, it's like Eric Thaler may have had an incident. I'm sorry, it's too far past the point where we can see him. I'm not going to rewind and embarrass him. Lap 73, and we're up. Yeah, it's too far back now, so we won't embarrass the Godfather just yet. But James Olafison was caught for speeding in pit lane. Had to do a drive-through. Bump in the track is what sent Eric Thaler around on pit lane exit. They got him. So it's all good. That's not going to help his lap times or his overall time. So we'll see what happens. As now, Eric Thaler's strategy may have blown out the window if he was trying to save tenths of a second per stint. The spin will remove all of that. So that's how it goes sometimes. As you mentioned, Eric Thaler is on the lead lap still, so all to play for. He's basically on cycle with everybody, last stopping on lap 72. And he did take tires, so he's pretty much on strategy.
As we watch Dustin come on back into the pits, so it's about that time and the cycle starts up again. Just when we figure things out, they go back in here. It's like a rack of billiards.
That's right, and that means Justin Thaler's not going to be far behind. or Aaron Holroyd. All right.
So as we watch here, is Dustin's, well, we got Justin on the screen here, but as we got Dustin in the pits, another fuel stop for him. We'll see how Justin and Aaron handle that, as both of them came in for just fuel last time around. Jason Huffman, Ty Williams, Brandon Thayer, all running out there with fresher tires as they took tires at last pit stop.
Justin Thayer is your leader as they run. Looking up at Ty Williams.
He goes by Clarence Prince there in the number 83 Red Bull car.
Man, there's a couple guys we haven't talked about tonight, and I apologize to that. There's Ty. Clarence Prince. Red, white, and blue Red Bull paint tonight. In the 83, Clarence, we appreciate you, man.
They never make it easy for us there. Mostly for you. Now, you're the voice here.
No, I'm glad you're here with me. Clarence last stopped at lap 70, so he's overdue. Here he comes. He did not take tires last time, so I'm expecting him to, take tires this time.
Justin Thayer in.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Justin Thayer in. Jason Huffman out on the track right now. Half a second, so that's the closest we've had for a battle for the lead. Within a second there between Jason Huffman, Aaron Holroyd, and Ty Williams. The top three right now as they continue to run.
Good for Jason Huffman to lead a lap.
And it is. I said, sorry, back to you, James.
All good. Getting some bonus points for Jason, number 4 car. As Justin Thayer works his way back on the track right in front of the crowd. No, you're here somewhere. There it is. And Jason Huffman comes in. Justin Thayer came out of the pits behind Aaron Holroyd. Eric Thaler and Jason Huffman in. Justin Thayer cycles back around. Your current leader is being shown as Ty Williams. His last stop was lap 75. And he did take tires, so I'm assuming he's not going to take tires this time. He comes in. As well as Sean Cunningham. His last stop was 77.
James, we're a third of the way there now.
All right. Ty Williams and Sean Cunningham still staying out. Ty Williams comes in now. If Sean Cunningham touches the fence as he stays out to assume the lead. Brandon Thayer comes in.
Sean's got about a 13-second gap ahead of his teammate Brandon Cotton. Earlier on, Brandon Cotton was ahead of Sean Cunningham before he had pit back on lap 77. Brandon Cotton 79 and Ant Castor at lap 78. So the three of them back out in front here as we're getting ready to finish this pit cycle. Once these three get on in, currently we've got We've got 10 cars on the lead lap as we speak, as we roll right now. Obviously, that's bound to change as pit cycle finishes up. But we've got Dustin Reinstedt leading the rest of the field that has already pit, with Justin Thaler about another 13 seconds behind him. And Dustin and Justin, Jason and Ty all not taking tires that last time by. Speaking of which, does Brandon finally take tires?
Right. As Sean Cunningham finally comes in after getting passed unlapped by Ty Williams, Brandon Cotton will assume the lead. We'll see how long he stays out.
Either he did take tires during that first pit stop there at the comp caution, or those tires are like crying at maybe like single-digit percentage. But
Right. For Ant Caster in the 8 car. Lap 78 was his last stop. Here he is.
now he had taken tires the last time by, so we've only got, I think, 4 guys out there. 4 guys out there that had take tires the last time in.
Brandon Cotton stays out for another lap. Lap 79. Did not take tires, so let's see where Brandon Cotton comes out in relation to Dustin Reinsettle. But Dustin Reinsettle is only 2 seconds back. So
Yeah, he closing. 2 3/10 right now. How much is this advantage going to get Brandon here? The longer he stays out, the closer Dustin gets.
And not to mention, well, if Brandon takes tires, he'll be able to unlap himself relatively easy, but he's going to go at risk of at least a lap and a half, maybe more down. So he's going to really have to work to get back up to the lead, but maybe he can save a stop at the very end on the backside. We'll see how it plays out, but Jason Huffman and Justin Thaler, this is for position after the stop. Both did not take tires, so they're even on tires. Justin Thaler, Jason Huffman, Ty Williams wants a piece of this action. So this is a 3-way battle for second right now. Is 7 seconds back behind the leader. Okay, now only 2 seconds behind the leader as Brendan Cotton finally comes into pit.
Now he does. Jason Huffman now, after taking second place, 12.7 seconds behind Dustin Reinstedt. Justin Thaler and Ty Williams still battling within a couple car lengths of each other right there as Ty's making a move. Right there on the inside of turns 3 and 4. Can he stick the landing, or they keep going side by side for a couple laps?
Dead even across the line. Ty Williams in the red, white, and blue. Cherry Coke paint with 81 on the roof. Inside of Justin Thaler. Not yet. Justin's making him work for it. They're racing an awesome race side by side again across the line. A full lap and then some side by side. And Ty slide up in front of him and keep the position. Saw a little practice touch that they did during practice. Justin Thaler got into the left rear of Ty Williams in practice, going through the double dog leg. Didn't completely send Ty Williams into the wall, but got him loose a little bit, made him think. Not this time. move Ty Williams up to third spot. Jason Huffman in the 4 in second place on merit. But as you said, 12 seconds back from the leader. We'll see where Brandon Cotton is. He's not going to like it for now. Currently 13th. Last pitted on 108. And sorry, there he is. He did finally take tires. So that's confirmed. And now we'll see him come through the field. And possibly one less stop. With 200 laps to go, anything's possible.
It sure is.
Race really hadn't even started yet. You know, we're just getting warmed up, just a 100-lap warm-up. Those new tires got to feel awesome, Michael. What's it like when you strap on a new set after a stop?
Man, after you go 2 stints without changing tires, those new tires, it gives you a couple laps to figure out what's going on again. You're like, oh, I can turn this, I can do this right now, I can go faster here, I can turn a little bit less, or I can wait a little bit longer before I actually start letting off the throttle. It's a whole new experience. Some of those times, and other times it's just like, oh, thank goodness I got a new set.
Brandon's last lap was a 30.06. Your leader, Dustin Reinstedtle's last lap was a 31.06. 1 second a lap faster as you see Brandon Cotton coming up. Ant Caster drives right on by like he's going. Got it on warp mode. Up to 11th, Brandon Cotton on the lead lap.
The world's 3rd largest navy, I think it is. Coast Guard.
Hilarious. As Dustin Reinstedtle comes back in. One more time, lap 117 for Dustin.
Huffman's going to take the lead there, half a second ahead of Ty Williams, and Ty Williams is gaining, or at least kind of gaining, down to 4/10.
Right behind him. Three laps, fresher tires for Ty Williams. Let's see. They both did not take tires at the last stop. It is a Coast Guard paint. Thank you. Michael, I do not recognize the Coast Guard paint for Brandon Cotton. Showing the colors of our military, our armed services. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Michael, for catching that.
I've been a bit busy on the back end.
Nice. Thanks, man. All right, Dustin Reinstedtle gets his lap back, unlaps himself from Jason Huffman and Ty Williams. But again, they're on a different strategy. Ty and Jason have to go 15 laps more before they get their set. So, I mean, these are significant gaps, 15 laps, between cycles. I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah, it's steadily growing here. Dustin Reinstedtle took tires that last time through, and Trevor Mack is going on in the pits here as well. He had taken tires the last time he had pit, so he's probably just fuel only here. But yeah, Dustin, fresh tires on that car, Jason, Ty, and Brandon all driving last pit stop. They took fuel, so we'll see how that pans out. But that gap's going to be important. It's either going to mean that Dustin's going to continue to walk away with this one, or maybe the math's going to favor one of these guys. Maybe a late caution's going to catch Dustin high and dry, and he'd have to put tires on or get some more fuel while everybody else can stay out. We'll find out.
$11 cars on the lead lap. As the race for the lead continues to heat up. Ty Williams finally completes the pass. Didn't see exactly which part of the corner into your exit as Clarence Prince dives down into the pits right in front of our leader. And Jason Huffman comes into the pits. That leaves Brandon Thayer into P2 with Aaron Holroyd right on his tail.
So these guys have run about 3 times as much as an official race. Nobody's had a caution, even through all these pit cycles. So if you're still wondering what league to join, Midwest Motorsports.
That's it. We have so much fun, man. Midwest Motorsports is always free. Midwest-motorsports.com. Sign-ups are always open, so you can join in the middle of the season. 3 different series to choose from. Friday night is our truck series that Michael and I have been talking about quite a bit. Sunday night, tonight, is our Cup series. Next Gen Cup car, obviously. And Tuesday night is our Road series. GT4 is the current season ending race. The final race is this Tuesday. We will crown a champion Tuesday night at 7:25 start time. Eric Thaler comes in for fuel only.
And don't forget, Monday nights, you got your podcast.
And the podcast. That's right. Thanks very much. Tomorrow night, we will review all 3 races from the previous week, talk about some real-world racing, and who knows what else might come up in the podcast. And Tuesday night is the Road series, so sign-ups are free, always open. Midwest-motorsports.com is where you can find us.
I put my money on a roof ride.
Hey, wouldn't surprise me. Anything is possible. Cars are known to get flipped over every now and then. We usually go upside down more than once in the podcast as well. Ty Williams comes in for a pit. That's going to move Walker McNulty into the pit, into the lead. His last stop was lap 101.
Here we got him at 101. Sean Cunningham, Brandon Cotton creeping their way back up to the top of the leaderboard here at 104, 108. Dustin Reinstedt pitted in lap 117. He was the first car to pit on the cycle. And it looks like his pit cycle number is starting to cycle back up to these guys who have stayed out the longest. So I wonder how that's going to play in to the end of the race here.
Even though Dustin Reinstedt has stopped one more time there, they're all right together. Amazing. Walker comes in. No tires for Walker. That's going to move Sean Cunningham in the 71 to the lead. Brandon Cotton in second. Andrew Miller on the inside of Sean Cunningham here. No, that's Steve Hansel. Steve Hansel in the Bass Pro Shops, number 24. We have not talked about Steve Hansel much tonight. We want to give a shout out to my man Steve, Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve. Speaking of stars and stripes, that's what he's got on, that Bass Pro number 24. Although, is that a Toyota?
Steve is a Road Series admin, and Steve Hansel is the man single-handedly responsible for the Midwest Motorsports scoring and schedule, points schedule and website, all the point standings and links. Steve Hansel is the one that does that by hand. He says a lot of it's automated, but it had to be programmed by somebody. That somebody was Steve Hansel. The whole league is in debt for his volunteering of his time and his knowledge to put that together for us. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. We're glad you're here racing in the Cup Series. A really good road racer. Competes in the Pro Division in the Road Series. Dipping his toe in the oval. Seems to be having some fun tonight. We're glad you're here, brother. Coast Guard number 5 is up front. Dustin, 5 seconds back.
There he is, and he's gaining there as well. Both guys had pitted with tires the last time they came out, so 9-lap fresher tires for Dustin Reinstedel. And speaking of the Coast Guard, we're missing the Navy, I think, out here. I think we got everybody else in that service branch. We had the Marines on Chris Thaler right there, and Coast Guard on Brandon Cotton. Don't know if I've seen the Navy.
Well, I'm not one to break any rules, but Aaron Olroyd's USAA insurance is for anybody service connected, so maybe we'll give Navy under that umbrella for Aaron Olroyd, Armed Services Insurance.
And no Space Force. But, like you said, USAA.
Aaron Holroyd, and Justin Taylor touch. Coming to the dog leg. They make it through. Long run. We're at 110 laps of green flag racing. Brandon Cotton finally comes in. Going to cycle Dustin Reinstedel back to the lead. Jason Huffman 17 seconds back. And 1 second back to Ty Williams. Sean Cunningham is also in the pits.
Looks like he's got some damage to repair in his car. But,
who's that?
Sean Cunningham.
Oh.
And Brandon Cotton, just splash and go for him. As things stand right now, P2 here with Jason Huffman in second place and Brandon Thayer back in fourth place have the Hard Charger Award right now. 12 positions gained through this race. Both of them, by the way, started in the pits tonight.
All right, speaking of Chris Thaler, Private David Thaler, U.S. Marine Corps, is on his car today. USMC wounded in Vietnam. Very strong-willed man. David Thaler, I'm going to guess it's a brother of Chris. So we appreciate your service, David. Thank you for protecting our freedom. All the Thaler brothers, of course, everybody in Midwest Motorsports. We appreciate your commitment to our country. Very strong-willed. I'm sure it bled out to your family as well. Your character traits rubbed off on Chris and therefore Eric and Justin as well. Thank you, sir.
Hooah.
Andrew Miller's got some red, white, and blue tonight. He's doing a good job. Last stopped at lap 124, so he's got about another 5 or 7 laps before Andrew Miller comes in. Dustin Reinstedel, Jason Huffman, Dustin comes in. All right, Dustin.
And so the cycle begins again.
Here we go. Lap 141.
Lap 141, and we'll have, what, lap 151 by the time everybody else starts coming in?
Something like that. Yep. Maybe more. That puts Jason Huffman up front.
He has certainly added a little bit to his lead there over Ty. Earlier on, they were within tenths of a second of each other. Now it's 1.3 seconds between the two. Before you go all the way back, another 10 seconds for Brandon Thayer, and another all the way back. Oh, well, 10 seconds back from Ty would be Brandon, then 3 seconds further back to Aaron Holroyd in fourth. Justin's back there in fifth, just a half a second further back from Aaron Holroyd, and Walker McNulty another half second.
Justin Reinstedel comes into the pits and he drops only down to 8th place this time, stays in front of Trevor McLaughlin and Eric Thaler.
Yep, and he's looks like he's gaining up on Brandon Cotton as well, or getting closer to Brandon Cotton as the laps tick on.
Jason Huffman up front. As long as you're able to stay in the lead group as far as pit cycles go, you usually will have a chance to lead a lap. The bonus points might play out at the end of the season. Still have 10 cars on the lead lap. There have been no cautions other than the competition caution. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad to see it.
I had to look back because we missing a couple cars out here on the field, and I'm surprised we didn't have a caution, but one car going down into the dirt and not going to bring out a yellow flag.
We take a glimpse around the static cams, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, watching the cars go across the start-finish line. We're approaching the halfway mark. Unbelievable. Been racing for an hour and 20 minutes, and we are at the halfway mark. About. With Ty Williams making the move around Jason Huffman. It just happened. As Jason Huffman comes into the pits, that explains why. So Ty Williams now your leader. 127 was his last stop. I think 3 laps more. Jason Huffman, which cycles Brandon Cotton and Walker McNulty back up. Brandon Thayer, P2. Right now, here is Ty Williams in the 81. Going through traffic. Brandon Thayer lets Andrew Miller by. Ty Williams gets under the 15 of Eric Thaler. That's what new tires looks like. Eric Thaler, 7th place. Last stop was 124.
And he's going to come
Eric
on
Taylor's
in.
coming in. Yep. Along with Aaron Holroyd. The next round of pit cycles begins, which means it's about time for Dustin Reinstetter to come back in again as well. Just kidding. He's got a couple more laps again, but
And he's down to 6 laps between him and Brandon Cotton's pit times there, so I think we got a little bit longer. We guessed about 151 for the bulk of the rest of the guys to start coming in. Some of them came in about 3 or so laps sooner, so
total madness.
Justin only holding off for 4 more laps there. He took tires where Dustin did not. So we'll see how that pans out.
Tough break that pit cycle for the 71 of Sean Cunningham. Too fast in pit lane. Had to serve his drive-through. He served it and since cleared his black flag, but that's not the way Sean Cunningham wanted his race to play out.
No.
That's unfortunate.
It's like doing everything right, going to pit during caution and getting hit with that pit while passing somebody during a caution flag.
Right. Your leader finally comes in for his stop.
SDK being funny, counting up the interval.
Right. That's funny.
But Brandon Thayer is about to pass and take the lead here. Dustin Reinstetter still out. He actually passed by Brandon Cotton, so even when Brandon goes to pit, he will not have had led any laps this cycle.
Good point. So Brandon Thayer overdue for a stop. Dustin Reinstetter goes right on cue. Brandon Cotton dips in. Brandon Thayer dips in.
That lead has now increased to 15 seconds when they cycle through between Dustin Reinstetter and presumptive number 2, Ty Williams, once Brandon Cotton and Walker McNulty come on in.
Yeah, but that's going to be... They're good for another 15 laps or so. But this really is a race for the lead. Only 6 laps difference. You mentioned it earlier. 6 or 7 laps difference on tires. You also mentioned, I will say, Professor Michael. That might be what I call you, Michael. You might have just had a new nickname, the Professor. But Dustin Reinstetter and Brandon Cotton, there's going to be about 7 seconds apart. Or 7 laps right now. But eventually, when Brandon comes in, if he goes to 137, Dustin Reinstetter is going to have to stop. I'm sorry, not 137. It'll be like 168 or so. Dustin's going to have to come in around 170. So they're really going to be back down to 2 laps difference with 1 fewer stop for Brandon Cotton. But it's all worked out. Speed-wise, Dustin Reinstetter has been able to put his foot on the floor, and Brandon Cotton had to lift and coast some to save fuel, but both strategies working. They call it a black art, and this is a perfect example why. Brandon Cotton doing a great job of conserving fuel and has saved a full pit stop. 32 seconds between stopping and getting tires and getting back out on the track. You're looking at a full 30 seconds plus that Brandon Cotton has been able to save just from lifting and coasting.
Man, he's in a much better spot compared to the rest of the field when you talk about that, where he's only just, now the lead's gotten up to almost 2 seconds, but compare that to Ty Williams, who's been trying to follow the cycle. He's there's 12 lap difference between when they pit, him and Dustin Reinstedel, and he's about 15 seconds back, just barely gained a little bit. He is driving a little bit faster than Dustin right now, but a little bit isn't going to go too far when every time you go in, there's adding another 2 seconds to that lead, that gap.
Sure. Unless lap 300 comes when Brandon Cotton's in front of Dustin Reinstedel. We'll see how it plays out, though. Again, Dustin Reinstedel, not known for making many mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and he'll admit that even, but amazing how strategies really come into play every single week. And no different here at Midwest Motorsports.
I thought Martin Truex retired.
He did. He did.
Did he just decide to take over the number 11? Still too early to tell.
Too early. Joey Logano's pretty good at fuel saving as well.
Well, interesting enough, as we talk about this here, only 3 cars showing on the lead lap right now.
Jason Huffman and Clarence Prince having a good little race here. This is not for the lead. They're on alternate laps, but there we go. I think, 2 cars on the lead lap. You're right. They have trapped the whole field a lap down, just the way pit cycles have worked out.
Yeah, the pit cycles have been pretty wild with who gets lapped and who stays. Earlier on, it looked like it was 10, then it went back to 15 cars, and it went back to like 6, and it went up to 13, and it's just bobbed and weaved. But now, because of the way that Brandon Cotton's been saving fuel and Dustin's been pitting early, it's kind of turned into this perfect storm of what's going to be him and Ty Williams left on the lead lap, everybody else behind. I mean, even then, with Ty Williams pitting later than most of the other cars, too, Brandon Thayer may be the only one that actually might get his lap back, where he pit on lap 154.
Yeah, by going flat out, looks like Dustin Reinstedel may lap the whole entire field.
Well, he came back on in, so got another 12 laps to go there, Ty. So that's down to 3 laps now between when Dustin pit and when Brandon Cotton pits. Cotton did take tires this time. Dustin's taking tires.
Ty Williams lets Walker McAnulty go. As Walker unlaps himself from Ty, at least. Ty Williams is showing as your leader right now. Last stop at 153. Which should be good to lap 179 or 180.
And the confusion continues as now was a Walker. So the top 8 drivers are now on the lead lap. Brandon Cotton making himself number 9. Oh, hold on. Now he's making it number 9.
Does he keep it? Yes, he does. We're riding with Ty, but see Brandon just right in front. Now taking back over on the lead lap at least. But again, we'll see where it plays out. Brandon is good. He did take tires at 163.
He just put down his personal best lap here on track, 29.931 as well. Currently lining up to be around 2 seconds behind Dustin, so marginal gain there from pit stop. We'll see how that continues to go as they weave through traffic.
Race like this, you really want to have a spotter or somebody with you, or spent a lot of time in the rig beforehand, either in the rig or out of the rig, doing the math, writing down a strategy, something. Ty Williams would be good to have another win for Ty. He's been working hard this season.
He has currently 7th place in the point standings. 180 points to his name, 2 wins, like we said. Currently on top of that point standings is the boss, Eric Thaler, 224 points to his name. Aaron Holroyd, 212. Justin Thaler, 196. And Dustin Reinstedel currently hanging around, been leading a lot of laps here. He's at 188 points, just 3 points ahead of 5th place Brandon Cotton in those standings.
Still pretty early in the season. Anything can happen, so don't count anybody out, including the drop races. So you never know what's going to happen. Keep showing up, doing the best you can. Give it all you got. We do have a 23 race season, well, 22 point scoring races. So a lot can happen here.
Absolutely. This is just race 7.
Yep, point scoring race number 6. Yep. As we got some more pitters, Trevor Mack, Jason Huffman come into the pits. Riding with the leader, going through the field, back and forth. Brandon Thayer holding a strong 2nd place. Don't count Brandon out. Trevor Mack's coming back on. John Cunningham, remember, served a drive-through penalty earlier. He's making it under Brandon Thayer, or not. Brandon Thayer gets around him, at least this time. .8 was the last lap for Brandon Thayer. Dustin Reinstedel, 20.9 is Aaron Holroyd comes in for his pit stop. 153, so 180. We got about 5 or 7 more laps for the leaders. Walker McNulty's sitting in a good spot here. Lap 156 was his last stop, so he's still, he's about 10 laps off Dustin and Brandon. But here comes Dustin Reinstedel from 3rd, trying to make the move. He's in traffic as he gets around the 7 of Chris Thaler, the Marines car, and works on 64 of Brandon Thayer. Dustin Reinstedel, your fastest guy on the track. Been racing for the lead all night long. It's a special paint he's got tonight. Dustin Reinstedel always likes to honor his uncle, Terry Casey, for his service. We
Got
know.
that camo paint on there, the W Energy.
Yep. His uncle. His uncle is a huge Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan. So Dustin Reinstedel carries Terry Casey on his car. All these patriotic races, and we lost Terry Casey recently, and I know he'd be happy to see Dustin Reinstedel up front. Ty Williams has come in for his pit stop, which is going to cycle Dustin Reinstedel, your leading car all night long, back to the front at lap 179. Ty Williams is taking tires this time. Can he stay in front of Dustin Reinstedel? As Dustin is now working his way through corner 3 and 4 onto the double dog leg. Where does he pass Ty?
Ty is just about getting back on the track.
So, the lap down. Dustin Reinstedel basically has a lap on Ty.
Basically. And he's got 3.5 seconds or so on Brandon Cotton.
Brandon Cotton is working on Walker McNulty. This is for position. Brandon Cotton in the number 5, inside Justin Thaler. Walker McNulty in the red, white, and blue slot car track paint.
I think that's a throwback to his dad.
There it is. His dad races short track racing, asphalt. Owns a few slot car retail facilities. He's got a slot car track on the hood of his car. Oh, I wanted rear, not front. Brandon Cotton is working his way around the outside. Walker McNulty's got a slot car track layout on his hood with the flames. As he finally comes in for his pit stop, Justin Thaler goes by. Brandon Cotton claims the position. Back to second for Brandon Cotton, 4.4 seconds back. So let's see who's gaining. They both took tires, both Brandon and Dustin. Their top 2 took tires last time by, and their last laps, Brandon Cotton with about a 10th, 1.8 second faster. Walker McNulty is going to come out of the pits in 3rd. Nope, 4th. I'm 5th. But still, top 5. Right now.
Yeah, Brandon Thayer's catching up to him.
Yeah.
And it looks like Trevor Mack might be gaining on him as well. Or is 6 as far as he drops? Well, for now, it looks like that might be as far as he drops there. So Dustin gaining about 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds now on Brandon Cotton. As this challenge to Dustin's lead is starting to maybe dwindle for now. I mean, we're not towards the end of the race, so these guys they're still not pushing too hard, but they're still doing. They're still pushing. I imagine once we get to that final pit cycle there, that everybody's going to be hustling, rubber's going to be burning, and we'll see what happens.
So will Brandon Cotton, with 1 fewer stop, have a set of tires left at the end? Or he can use tires maybe 2 stops before the end of the race. Maybe his next to last stop could be a tire stop where Dustin Reinstedel has to save and run 3 stints on the very end to the checkers. We'll see how it plays out. But you have to stay tuned. You have to watch. You have to keep watching.
You do. We're getting close to when Brandon Cotton and Dustin will probably be coming in for their next pit stop as well, as they both pitted at 163 and 165.
Yeah. Trick is going to be where that lap 300 comes in. In this cycle of things, because Ty Williams at 178 is not out of it. Justin Thaler, his last stop was 169. So, I mean, he's basically, but he's a lap down. So he's going to need magic. So even though he might be on sequence, he's already a lap down from Dustin Reinstedel. Dustin Reinstedel has lapped, well, and Brandon and Ty have lapped everybody down up to 4th place. There are 3 defined leaders right now.
And he's on his way into pits as we speak, so Brandon's going to stick out later than Dustin.
Yep.
Of course, where this was most likely a splash and go for Dustin, how much of an advantage does Brandon get? Because he's going to go for a splash and go as well.
Fuel and go just mean no tires. He's going to fill it up to the top with 120 laps remaining. 110 laps remaining. We're filling it up to the rim, but we're not taking tires. Brandon Cotton is in now. So let's see, Dustin Reinstedel, and this is going to put a couple more cars back on the lead lap as well.
Right now up to 11 according to the scoring pylon.
Dustin and Brandon take no tires. Fuel only.
Brandon Cotton just coming out of the pits as we see, and Dustin blowing right by him. He's got about a 3, 4, 5, still growing.
It'll grow for a few laps. Again, yeah, that was big. 54 seconds was his last lap. We'll see what Brandon Cotton's last lap.
What's wild to think, too, as we look at this, is that Brandon Cotton actually had a faster pit stop than Dustin.
54, yep.
If he had pit at the same time, he probably would have the advantage right now.
We'll see how it plays out. Still a lot of racing left. The shorter stop might have been that extra lap of fuel that he still had in the tank, but not going all the way. But you might be right there. Probably are right, Michael, to say that he was losing too much per lap, that he should have just could have just covered Dustin right away. But let's not overlook the fact that Ty Williams is your current leader right now.
He'll have some time up there in the front. He pitted on lap 178. So we're just getting going on the next cycle of pit stops here. Usually the number 2 will come on in, then followed by a little cavalcade. Probably Trevor Mack and a few others coming on in.
I'm thinking you want to try to get to 210. Then go 30, 30, 30 for your last stint.
That'd be the most probably the good choice at this point.
Yeah, I think that's what time they were working on. But we'll see. I know. Well, Dustin's at 190. We can go to 220. I don't know. We're just gonna have to watch the race and see it play out. Brandon Cotton is in a close battle right now.
And duking it out with Brandon Thayer right there for 3rd place.
10 laps fresher tires. No, 10 laps since the stop. Both on scuffed tires.
Ty Williams currently having the freshest set of tires out there after taking some on lap 178. Well, I guess Justin counts too. He just took tires his last stop.
Good to know we got 10 cars back on the lead lap. But for how long? We got a group 6 on back. Due for a stop. About 206 or 7, which is that 210-ish lap. Brandon Cotton on the inside of Brandon Thayer. Everybody's just kind of running their own race. We've gone caution free. I don't want to jinx us for working on 200 laps.
I think the app's bugged out for a minute here. Top 5 is not lapped right now. So Trevor Mack is the first car a lap down. Sometimes the timing system wants to be funny, but a lap here is not 37 seconds.
Right. Can't do it. Good point. We are all easily confused. The current status, though, there's no doubt that Ty Williams is 15 seconds ahead of Dustin Reinstedel, who is 8 seconds ahead of Brandon Cotton. And Brandon are still fighting it out. For second, we're riding with Brandon Cotton, but Brandon Thayer is right on his tail.
Yeah, you are right. We're closing in on 15 seconds between that gap from first to second right now. So that tells you that Dustin's starting to think a little bit about the end game. You know, coasting a little bit. Otherwise, we'd probably be seeing that number drop.
Saving tires. Oh, he's on old tires. But Ty Williams should be pulling away, and he is little by little from Dustin. That's why the gap's getting bigger, because Ty took tires at his stop at 178. But he's working on it, due for a stop any moment. Because now we got Trevor Mack and Aaron Holroyd in the pits.
I think he's looking for that little plan that you had there, James. Trying to wait till 210 if he can.
I'm thinking, how hard is it, Michael, when you're in your rig at home, driving, no cautions, everybody's spread out? Do you have the radio on? Are you talking to somebody? I mean, it's got to be getting old listening to Jim all the time, but are you in a phone call? Do you have something going on in your radio? Or are you just full focus? How do you stay concentrated, Michael?
Well, Friday I did the unusual. I just kind of sat in my own thoughts and talking to myself, trying to figure things out in my own head throughout it. But the past couple weeks, I've just had the Twitch stream up, listening to you and Walker talking back and forth. And
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it was fun.
You're sorry to hear it. No, it was fun. It was fun listening to you guys. I had some great races. I've just listening to you guys in the background.
Cool, so that helps a little bit. Pro tip from Michael Harris, listen to the Twitch stream. But what else? How do you stay concentrated?
Just well, for me, it's just keep paying attention. Just keep on trying to hit those marks. Keep your eye on the spots there. Your braking zones, your turn-in zones, and just keep focusing on what's going on. And as you spread out, you try not to get discouraged. I got discouraged as the race gone on and went farther and farther without cautions. And I think I was trying to rely on them to get everyone back together, maybe make up for a mistake that I had on pit road. But it can be easy to get discouraged, but it also can feel good when you're up in the top 5 there, just going with what you've been doing and sticking to it. And then sometimes too, yeah, I'll be listening to Pandora on here and trying not to flirt with disaster.
Yeah. The guys in the truck race, definitely the trucks handle a little different than the next gen cars. So you might get a little wake up call every now and then, back end stepping out on you or whatnot. I mean,
All this wall bumping coming off of turn 4 there, I'm sure that's jumping some guys. Be like, oh, that's right, I'm still here.
yep. The tunnel turn, I think, as they call it, going over the tunnel. As we see a guy pitting from second place, Brendan Thayer comes in. We're watching Justin Thayer pull away from Sean Cunningham.
And with that, we've got an 8-second gap between Dustin Reinstedel and Brandon Cotton. Another 4 seconds behind them is Walker McNulty. Ty Williams back to 18 seconds back, but he pit on lap 203, so just fuel only, still fresher tires than most of the guys out here on the track.
Going to be hard for him to split the rest of the race from 203. Might need a splash somewhere in there or a short pit through cycles as Dustin Reinstedel works his way. He's letting some lap cars go. I believe that's Norm Snyder on the outside and Aaron Holroyd, who lets them do their thing. Only 8 seconds back to Brandon Cotton. But the gap is getting slightly bigger as the lap goes on. Is Brandon Cotton going to continue to save and try to do one less stop in the final as Walker McNulty comes in from third?
Clarence Prince looking to get one of his 6 laps back.
Attaboy Clarence, 83. I have a lot of respect for Clarence Prince. He's had a couple great runs this season. I remember Daytona, it was fun. Underrated, always runs the Red Bull, but thanks for bringing out the red, white, and blue tonight, Clarence. Norm holding it down as well. Looks like we've lost Ant Castor.
Yeah, he had a VR issue earlier on in the race. About as soon as the screen went black, he went on in. I happened to watch the replay because I'm like, "Where did you go?" And I saw him just smashing the inside wall, and I was like, "All right, either the wheel disconnected or something else happened to him." So he just got a little tip there. His VR system did had a little issue there.
Gotcha. Did you post that up in the chat?
A little birdie told me.
Oh, right.
I reached out to him.
Thanks. Yeah, right on.
Not sure what happened with James though. That scheme was pretty cool on his car.
Yes, I'm sorry we didn't get to see more of it for sure.
Well, as Dustin comes on in again for pits to start the new cycle, we've got a battle heating up for 10th place back there between Eric Thaler and Aaron Holroyd as Eric gets a little close to Toby Keith's, to Norm Snyder up there.
Can Eric catch Aaron Holroyd? That would be for position inside the top 10.
Well, interesting to note, now Dustin Rhinestyle has gone unlapped down as Brandon Cotton stays out there on the track.
Right, that's the danger zone. It looks like Brandon is going to try to stretch, maybe either short pit or double stop. Go do a couple of 10-lap runs or 15-lap runs, but here he is trying to unlap himself from Dustin Rhinestyle. Of course, one lap down will only put Dustin Rhinestyle in P4. But there he goes, trying to get his lap back. Brandon could have made it more difficult, but we were just friends having fun racing tonight with 84 laps left.
Yes, sir. Of course, Dustin took tires that time. Justin also took tires as well as he sits in third place. 25 seconds back, so about 20 seconds behind Ty. When Brandon drops off, Ty will have a 15 second lead until he will have to come in for pits. Looks like Sean Cunningham down there. I see a little pit stop icon down there. He's probably got some damage to repair.
He's on his way back out. 57
He is.
up. And Brandon Cotton leader comes back on the pit lane at lap 217. 218. All right.
There we go. Ty Williams got the lead again. 21 seconds over Dustin Rhinestyle as Justin Thaler came on into pit as well.
All right. So, Brandon did take tires this time.
He has dropped down to 9th place. Eighth place. Sorry. And now down to 9th as Eric Thaler caught up to him. That said, Brandon Cotton's going to get right up on the boss's rear. He's going to fight. He's going to go battle it out for 8th place.
New tires right out of the pits, finally coming up to temperature. He's did a good job blending back in to the racing and gets his position back on Eric. Eric does a good job running a lane and a half high, leaving room for him. But Ty Williams on a lap of his own now. 10 laps. Older tires than Dustin, but there you go. Ty Williams, 18 seconds in front of Dustin as my timing cycles back up. Brandon Thayer.
There's also a 10-lap difference between their pit stops as well, with Ty coming in lap 203, then Dustin coming in at 213.
.218 for Brandon, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3. See, Brandon might have 2 sets of tires still in the pits. There, Dustin also has 2 sets. Here we are, Midwest Motorsports race schedule. Oh, yeah, I'm going to play a promo that we had done for the Midwest Motorsports Leagues. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Do it up.
Are you tired of milquetoast lawless racing and ready for a real league? Then you need Midwest Motorsports. Our iRacing Cup, Truck, and Road series are unrivaled and make grown men cry. Featuring active race control and an active Discord server. Say goodbye to cheese wagon free-for-alls and hello to the best league racing you'll find anywhere. Want more? Who doesn't? Catch our weekly podcast, complete with member interviews, race reviews, standing updates, and rig tips and tricks. Live race broadcasts with announcer commentary.
And Ty Williams in the 81 in the red car. Jason Huffman gets in between them.
Fridays, Truck Series. Sundays, Cup Series. Tuesdays, Road Series. Visit Midwest-Motorsports.com to sign up for free and see if you have what it takes to not finish last. Our next season starts soon. Scan the QR code to sign up now, unless you like being taken out in Turn 1 by noobs.
I haven't seen any Turn 1 heroes, so.
That's right. Nobody likes being taken out in turn 1 by noobs. So come on and join us, Midwest-Motorsports.com. Signups are always open and always free. You can join anytime. Ty Williams gets unlapped by Brandon Cotton.
That makes 6 cars on the lead lap now as Ty Williams comes on in.
Dustin goes back up front, but don't look now. Braden Thayer's hanging right in there. Got to give it to the 64 tonight. When it matters, he's been right there. He's about 7 laps different. Off sequence from the leader. Walker McNulty at 2:09 with his last stop. That was just all going to play out. Ty Williams puts on his set of tires. He's got one more on the wall.
Yeah, definitely Brandon Thayer right there. You give that man some clean racing, he could do some wonders as he's showing tonight. Maybe he's not leading all the laps, but he's right there in the thick of the hunt.
Yeah, he is. Walker McNulty, his buddy, is right not too far behind him. So I'm happy to see Walker in the top 5 as well. No mistakes. It's really hard to run a race this long mistake-free, as we've seen a couple of speeding penalties, a couple of maybe driver errors, not too many. That's what we expect from the top league in the division, top division in the league. This race is for position. Walker McNulty on Brendan Thayer.
This is for second place.
Absent. I don't see Jason Phillips tonight. Must have something else going on. He's going to use this race as one of his dropouts, maybe. But Walker's slowly but surely gaining on the 64.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
Purple lap. Or as the purple lap.
Yeah, he got that one earlier.
Okay, sorry about that. Walker McNulty, currently P2. Only 4 laps off cycle from Dustin Reinstedel. We got to end it. Can Walker McNulty be a player here in this finale? We're winding down the laps. Went up on 235, 233. Finishing up, your leader, Dustin Reinsettle, on 234. Just doesn't make mistakes. Dustin Reinsettle putting on a clinic tonight.
He's looking for that weekend sweep.
Yes, he is. There's a couple guys that want to take it from him. And those two guys are Brandon Cotton and Walker McNulty. Ty Williams wants a piece of that too. Very different fuel strategies. We'll see how the fuel plays out as we're winding down. 4 cars on the lead lap. Justin Thaler, your first car a lap down. Is now coming across the start-finish line. He goes back on sequence. Nope. He's still lap down, P5.
$64 laps to go.
I do want to note the door on Justin Thaler. There's a decal. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on
Calvin
the screen.
Coolidge.
Yes, it is. Do you have it in front of you, or do you see it? No person has ever...
No person has ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave.
That's a huge quote. Life really is about giving and sharing. And Justin Thaler showing respect all our armed services, and a lesson that everybody can learn from. Thanks for that quote, Justin. Oh, Dustin Reinsettle makes a pit. That puts the number 5 back up to the top.
Just a little fuel for the number 11 machine this time by, and Brandon Cotton not going to get as far ahead as he did last time. So the clock starts at about 20 seconds. That's how big the gap is between him and Brandon Cotton. Currently 4 cars on the lead lap now, as Justin Thaler was able to get unlapped during that exchange of leaders.
But Brandon Cotton has one more set of tires on the wall. If my calculations are correct.
You're doing better than I am, because I haven't been able to keep track.
And Dustin with 1, 2, 3, 4. Brandon may have 2 sets on the wall. We'll wait and find out. Justin Thaler comes in for a stop. He took tires last time, but don't think he'll take them this time. That's going to drop him a couple of spots. 8th place gets by. All right. Everybody is pretty much spaced out by over a second. So you go around the track. Don't want to zoom out that far. Maybe out this far to maybe 3. Charlotte Motor Speedway is the only track that has a break in the catch fence down the back stretch. I don't know if you knew that, Michael.
I did not. Is that for the camera crew or?
I believe it's just for the billboards, but there's no stands back there. Right around here is where the catch fence stops for the Jumbotron. Right there, right before the billboards, there's a break in the catch fence. Luckily, we haven't had any trouble there. Dustin Reinstedel showing us the way. Could have been doing this all along, I guess, but Michael, do you have any idea who won the very first NASCAR Cup Series race? It was in 1960. I'll give you a hint.
1960. Go ahead.
It was Chevrolet, 1960 Chevrolet. Pole time was, pole mile an hour is 135.9.
I don't know why, but Lee Petty's coming to my head.
Hey, I'll give it a credit. That's not a bad guess. Joe Lee Johnson. No relation to me. Won it. It was a 600-mile race.
The first of the jewels.
June 19th, 1960 was the date. All right, Dustin Reinstedel coming up on the 4 car of Jason Huffman, currently 9th. Barely a lap down. Now 2 laps down. All right, 34 seconds. Wow, hard to tell. Brandon Cotton coming up on Steve Hansel as Brandon Cotton moves his way back up through the field after stopping. Steve Hansel on merit in this position. P5. Top 5 for Steve Hansel right now. His last stop was 228, where Brandon's last stop was 244. Brandon took tires at 244. And I think he's going to be able to take tires again. Around lap 270. $275. So we'll see. He can make it. The magic number, I think, is going to be about 270. So we got to get to 270 next. Ty Williams being shown as your leader. Brandon got around Steve. That moves him up. All right, good showing for Scuba Steve. He's 6.
Doing well and getting himself in a battle here as he's within 0.3 of a second of Brandon Cotton, and Eric Thaler's about half a second behind him.
Justin Thaler with new tires coming up on the 73 of Aaron Holroyd.
And this right here is our closest battle.
Gonna follow him through the dog leg and then find out where he can send it. JT with fresh rubber. Down the outside, Aaron Holroyd leaves the room, thankfully. I think Justin may have been expecting a slide job, didn't get it. Thanks, Aaron, as JT goes right on by. Nice move for Justin Thaler around the outside. As Huffman comes up on the track. Going back to our leader, Ty Williams. Took tires on his last stop. Dustin Reinstedel 10 seconds back, did not. Who's the fastest on the track right now? That would be the guy we're riding with. Ty Williams. You never count him out as he's looking under Brandon Thayer. Did the Cherry Coke machine get a pass?
Oh, he's heading on into pit.
Into the pits. All right. We got action.
We got a little bit going on here. Dustin Reinstedel is going to take the lead on over. I believe Walker's going to... Well, Tracker says he's pretty far back. There's a whole 28 seconds before tie pit.
All right. Ty is on his way out. Brandon Cotton goes by.
Cotton slowly catching up to Thayer, it looks like.
244. With that, it's going to be about 270. 275, he can make it after that. Where's Dustin Walker's in? Dustin Reinstedel, 237. He needs to make it. He goes to 267. He's going to be short, I believe. You need at least to get to lap 270 to make it on fuel. Dustin Reinstedel is showing as our leader. Walker McNulty comes in from second. Steve Ansel comes in.
Brandon Cotton makes that pass and is starting to cruise away, but 21 seconds behind Dustin Reinstedel in second place. So James,
What's up?
here's a little tidbit for you. I got two little tidbits here. Speaking of Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1974, the 600-mile event was shortened by 60 miles because of the fuel crisis.
Oh,
You want to know who may have won that race?
What year? 74?
1974.
Let me think. Hang on one second. I do know, but only because I already had it pulled up. He won the following year as well. David Pearson.
That's right. In the following year, speaking of which, who made his debut?
Oh, I don't know that one. Oh, hang on. Dale Earnhardt?
That's right. Future seven-time champion Dale Earnhardt, who finished 21st ahead of his future boss, Richard Childress.
Wow, how about that? You never know what you're going to learn when you tune in to a Midwest Motorsports stream. Oh no, this pit flag cycle, 64, Brandon Thayer, we were talking so good about him, is a black flag for speeding in the pit lane. So 64 is going to have to do a drive-through at pit lane speed.
Hot shoe burning down that avenue.
Yep. Try to get all he can, see if he can back it down. Dustin Reinstedel makes it down to pit lane speed, we hope. Right at the very last minute. Going to give the lead back to Brandon Cotton. As we are on lap 260, it's early for Dustin Reinstedel at lap 260. So let's see. Dustin Reinstedel is going to have a splash before the end of the race. Got a couple guys chiming in my ear. Thanks for the tip, Ant. Ant said his magic number was 273 is the number you need to get to the end. 273 is the number to get to the end. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Sorry, I haven't been paying too much attention to the Twitch chat, but we got you live now. If you want to get in on the conversation,
Yes,
join us.
sir.
.com/Rivenvale is our stream. We see everybody watching. We thank everybody for tuning in.
Got ourselves a new follower, and it's great having all you guys here.
Here's some racing, man. We're winding down the Midwest Motorsports longest run of the race.
Working on 36 to go. Right now, still 37 to go. Oh, math went wrong. 38 to go.
It's all right. Dustin Reinstedel, I don't think there's any way he can make it from here. Brandon Cotton last stopped at 2:44, so he should be good. Ty Williams is going to need another stop as well. Brandon Cotton looking good. Everybody right now needs a stop. Let's see. Eric Thaler looking good. Justin Thaler doing okay. Eric last stopped at 2:52. He needs to stop. Nobody can make it yet, so we'll see where the next pit cycles start. We'll be able to find out what position they're in, if they're going to be able to stay in front, or if the leaders are already in front of them when they come out. That's how we're going to know if they're going to make it to the victory lane.
I guess the next question is does anybody short pit to try to get that advantage between these top three guys?
Right.
Do you pit right around the time that you hit that window so you can come out ahead when they end up pitting?
Well, I think that's what Dustin Reinstedel just tried at 260. Then he'll come again pretty late. He did take tires at 260, but Brandon did take tires at 240, 244. So he's not going to have to come in until 270 or so.
Yeah, that's a 20-second gap right now between the two.
So still early. It's a little bit of an unknown, but I tell you, we might be able to get some inside information. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I think we got Ant Castro, driver of the number 8, who had a VR fail, decided to come in and join us in the booth. Or we have an open door policy for Ant. Ant, it's James and Michael in the booth. You got us?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right. Ant, we're sorry you're not in this thing, man, but what do you think? It's played out. It's been a very long race. Hard to believe I'm still vertical, but, man, coming down to the last pit stop, what are we going to see, Ant?
Oh, man. I'm interested in seeing if this 5 can stretch it another four laps to be the verge of it, but if he can stretch it another 4 laps before he pits, he might have this in the bag. But
Yeah,
you got to watch at 81, too.
Yes. And the 11, honestly. I mean, he's been fast. He's been running flat out all night with no regard to saving fuel. He's already had at least one more pit stop than the rest of the field. And
Yeah. So the only way I see that 11 pulling this off is if he can catch the 5 and they pit at the same time at 273, 272.
Right. And since the 11 took tires last stop, I believe Brandon, he did also at lap 244, but if he takes tires and the 11 doesn't, is he going to have enough time to run them down?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe. He's going to have to really hustle. He's 15 seconds back, and he still has to make one more pit stop. Whereas if the 5 and 81 can pit in the next 2 to 3 laps, that's their final stop, barring a green-white checker.
I mean, they're definitely coasting right now as Dustin's made quick work of that, at least cut that lead down. It's down to 14, like you said, over the 20 when he first came out.
We're riding with Brandon Cotton, your current leader. He does not seem to be lifting and coasting, although he is running the low line. That seems to be where his fast laps are, 3/4 throttle.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's clutching it.
he is. You can see it. You can hear it.
Yeah, you watch as he's going into the corner. Watch him drop to 2,000 RPMs. Clutch.
Really quickly. Okay. That's how you know. So he's not still running good lap times. I mean, his last lap, 30.9. Justin Reinstedt's last lap, 29.7. So you're right. 1.2 seconds faster.
I was pulling the same strategy earlier in the race, and I was able to pull 31 laps on a tank.
You noticed. Yeah. Losing traffic. We did see. I'm sorry you dropped out, Ant. That's got a. Did you throw your VR headset? What happened? The battery died?
Oh, I don't quite. I don't know. Normally that thing charges whenever it sets on the computer all week, but for some reason it didn't want to charge this week, so I kind of came into the race and I told the guys, "Oh, here he comes, 5 into the pits."
5's in. All right.
This is it right here, guys.
Yeah, Ty's out.
Ty stays out, but I think Ty has to stop again.
Dustin's out still.
3, so Dustin's gonna need a splash.
What Ty's doing is he's trying to get that extra lap or two so he can go just a little bit harder than what Cotton is.
Right, little overcut. We'll see if Ty. We're riding with Ty now. We'll see if he's clutching. Goes around to 71.
Brandon just took tires as well. His last set.
He did have a set. All right. So that's going to cost him time stopped. For Dustin Reinstedel, it's going to save an extra 7 seconds, not having to stop just for fuel. But he's on 1 stent tires. He's on scrubs. So not clutching for Ty Williams.
Yeah. Do you know when the last time Ty put tires on?
Ty put tires on the stop previous to 253. So.
Ooh.
Yep. So if Ty has another set on the wall, he saved him for now. That's going to hurt him, but he still might end up with the podium.
This is going to be a thriller, guys, coming down to the wire here.
Walker McNulty with a splash comes in now for his final stop. We'll see if he's got extra tires too. Well, we're going to run it down for the last 25 laps. 24 to go. The longest race of the season.
Who you got, James?
My money's on the number 5, Brandon Cotton. He had a good, strong podium and played the long strategy in the truck series. It didn't quite work out, but I think he learned something. Justin Reinstedel only knows one language, and that is pedal to the metal. I think that may have just cost him tonight. We'll see, as he was about 10 laps short of being able to make it to the end over a 30-lap run. What about you, Michael? Who you got your dollars on?
It's a toss-up right now, but I'll put my chips on Ty.
Ty Williams. Not bad. Ant, what are you thinking?
Oh man, that's just it. I mean, how many yells have we had in this race?
What's
Only
that?
1 for the competition caution. That's it. It's been green the whole way.
Oh my gosh.
Don't jinx us.
I know.
Here he comes. Dustin Reinstedel. His money stop.
There goes my pick.
It's all right. Ty's still in it. Ty needs a splash, though. Hey, Ty is in also. Ty Williams is in. So we'll see where they come out in relation to Brandon Cotton. Steve Hansel. Oh, my gosh. We can't forget Steve. But Steve has to stop as well. It stopped at 254. But, I mean, he's in shot for a podium.
Yeah,
They're
so
currently 5th. Go ahead.
Dustin's putting in essentially an entire tank, 8 gallons of fuel. That's 7 seconds and whatever you have on pit road and time, unless he's putting tires on too.
Nope, Dustin
No, he just
Reinstedel out 7.53. Yep.
Ty just put on tires.
He comes out behind Brandon Cotton, and he did not take tires. So Brandon Cotton and Dustin Reinstedel 3 seconds back. Dustin Reinstedel is 3 seconds back to Brandon Cotton. That's the race for the lead with 22 laps to go. Ty Williams takes tires at 278. We'll find out how far back he is from Dustin. He's only 3 seconds back from Dustin, so
Oh boy.
might be able to run down Dustin Reinstedel. We got a three-way race for the win. Only 3 seconds apart each.
Cotton took tires too?
Cotton took tires, yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's got freshies. They're starting to warm up.
Yeah, and he's put on a little bit of a distance there. I think he's gained 0.3 of a second now.
Yeah, he's running. Can we get the in car for Cotton?
Yes, you can. He's got to be flat out. Nothing
I want
else.
to see those lap times.
Yep, 29.8.
Wow.
Roll bar. I'll see if I can get the what you call it, box up, paddle box.
29.79.
Right.
Yeah, he's running some qualifying laps now, guys.
And Ty just put down his fastest of the night, 29.72.
They're hunting Dustin Reinstedel down.
Yeah, Dustin just put down a 33.
Yeah.
30.3. 29.7 for first and third. All right. 2 seconds now, the difference, as Brandon Cotton is pulling away from Dustin Reinstedel, and Ty Williams is closing in on Dustin.
Another fast lap, just 1,000th of a second slower than the fastest tonight.
29.5 for Ty Williams. Let's ride in cockpit with Ty as he is on the move. We'll do the battle box for him also. You can't see. I guess we can see lap time, so I get some more on the battle box. There's a couple more people. All right.
Oh man.
29.8. He's still putting down faster lap times than Brandon and Dustin, but those tires will wear out pretty fast.
I'm thinking. So, Cotton. I'm thinking Cotton's going to get this one, barring something happening at the end. Ty second.
Traffic for Ty. Oh my goodness, Ty! What a good save he's in the middle. He's got Brandon Cotton. I'm sorry, Trevor Mack on the inside, trying to get around Aaron Holroyd and Steve Ansel. They got a roadblock for the 81. That's not going to help him. You have to. Good job, Ty. Get around those guys. There may have been a moving roadblock there for the 11. That definitely hurt him as he goes back down to 1.6 now. The lead is extending for Brandon Cotton. Dustin Reinstedel is 1.5 seconds ahead of this guy, Ty Williams. The battle for second is on. I think first is up the road with 15 laps to go. But judging by the competition, anything can happen. Cars are close by. The difference in speed between multiple vehicles out here, Trevor Mack and Steve Hansel are having a great battle for 5th and 6th. As Brandon Thayer comes down pit lane, it looks like he was out of gas.
So, when 81 catches 11, how big of a battle do you think that's going to be?
I don't know, but you're not going to have to go very far.
Cotton, what's going on?
What happened to Brandon?
Whoa! Did he not put fuel in?
Tell me we're crazy. Did he get speeding? Did he get a speeding penalty?
No, him and Brandon Thayer got into an incident.
Oh, no.
Well, Ty's seeing blood in the water here. 0.3 of a second between him and Dustin Reinstedel now that Brandon Cotton had to pit. And that's getting even closer here.
We're going to watch that in a second, Michael. I'm going to rewind and find out what happened to Brandon Cotton.
Oh, go back.
I'm trying. There it is.
Right about there, James.
We're riding with Brandon. That's Clarence Prince. He just got by. Did I go back far enough? Now he's got Walker McNulty coming up on next.
Yeah. We're looking for
Let's see
64,
here.
correct?
Thayer's 64. Sorry, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. We will not miss any live action once we get with this. We'll go back to the race. Faster.
I wonder if Thayer was going to pit in and the 5 clipped him.
Oh, we just passed by it.
Did we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Oh.
little black blur there on the front
Yeah,
stretch.
ghost. What, did he blink?
It looks like Thayer was stopped on the track.
Oh, he was. What on earth? Oh, no. From the lead, are you kidding me?
Oh, that's rough.
All right, bear with us. I'll find the right view. We'll go slow-mo.
How?
Oh, wait, Chopper, come on. So something must have happened to Brandon. Well, he's completely stopped. Trying to get off the track. There's the leader of the race. Oh, Brandon.
Oh, my word.
Oh, man.
That's heartbreak there.
And then the damage goes into turn 1 and just goes up the wall. The leader after 300 laps.
That was his race. That's rough.
All right. Well, what's that? For Brandon.
Oh.
That full
Yeah, I'm
speed.
watching around now, and it looks like Brandon, right there, coming out of turn 4, touched the apron, was losing control, coming into the to the final chicane.
Must be watching the stream. We're back to racing now. Yeah, you just ran up in the wall. That's just unfortunate for Brandon Cotton. I wish Thayer would have got on the radio or something. But here's the battle for the lead as Ty Williams comes up on Dustin Reinstedel. We're watching the broadcast watch stream, and he's right on him. You're watching the Ribbonvale. You're with us. He gets around the outside. It's a perfect move for Ty Williams to get around Dustin Reinstedel. That was the pass for the lead. It's a replay of the pass for the lead. We'll watch it one more time in real time. It looks like Dustin Reinstedel came up on. Not sure if that's Clarence Prince.
Yeah, it's Prince.
And the 83. You can ride with Dustin. Here he is. And the 83 goes high. Dustin Reinstedel right behind him. Do the double dog leg. Ty Williams follows him through. They both get by Clarence Prince. Reinstedel goes low on old tires. Ty Williams goes around the outside. And Dustin Reinstedel asked to just let him go. That's the pass for the lead, and the lead extends.
Yeah,
so, as we went back to watch live, that's just back live racing. Dustin Reinstedel in second. Here's Ty Williams, your current race leader, and the Cherry Coke machine, red, white, and blue with 3 to go.
Yeah, those new tires on Ty. There's no looking back. He's setting sail.
5 seconds now for Ty Williams, and that puts Walker McNulty up into P3. Boy, he's going to be thrilled with that. Trevor McLaughlin, P4. Brandon Cotton still saves a P5, but he's going to make it back up to P4 possibly. And Brandon Cotton track down Walker McNulty after stopping again. Now he's 10 seconds behind. Brandon Cotton is not going to catch Trevor. They're a full second apart. Unlapping himself from Dustin Reinstedel on what could have been for Brandon Cotton. All right, somebody's going to have to take all the sharp objects and take away the shoelaces from Brandon Cotton after working so hard to put in a performance tonight. But the Cherry Coke machine works his way down the back stretch for the final time of 300 laps. Ty Williams from Snellville, Georgia, has worked incredibly difficult, incredibly hard. Almost 3 hours of racing, and Ty Williams gets the gold medal and P1 for your race winner, Ty Williams. Dustin Reinstedel brings it home second. Walker McNulty coming home in a great P3. He's going to be thrilled with this. We're going to have to turn the volume down in the interview booth. When we talk to Walker McNulty, he's going to be so excited to work for 3 hours and get third. Trevor McLaughlin fourth. And Brandon Cotton P5 has already left the world. Watch Ty Williams do some burnouts. As he does it, I'll let you call the field, Michael, if you want.
Alrighty. So as we're getting everybody up on here, as we know, Ty Williams takes home the checker flag here in the Patriotic 300, followed by Dustin Reinstedel in the 11 Toyota in second place. Walker McNulty brings home his slot car number 12 Ford in third. Trevor McLaughlin brings home the Ghost 99 in fourth place, followed by Brandon Cotton in his number 5 Toyota, rounding out the top 5. Eric Thaler will be in sixth place in the number 15. Steve Hansel bringing home his 24 Toyota in seventh. Justin Thaler finishes in eighth in the number 2. Aaron Holroyd brings home the leading Chevy in number 9th place for the number 73. Jason Huffman, 10th place with the number 4 machine, rounding out your top 10. Andrew Miller in the 29 Ford finishes 11th. Brandon Thayer, 12th in the number 64 Chevy. Norm Snyder bringing it home in the number 28 in 13th place. Sean Cunningham, 14th, the number 71. 15th is Clarence Prince in the 83 Toyota. 16th is Chris Thaler in the 7 Ford. Our fellow caster right now, at number 8, Ant Caster, brings it home in 17th. And James Olivison in 18th place, number 9 Chevy.
What an incredible race we saw tonight. Heartbreak there at the end, but the longest race of Midwest Motorsports season. And tonight, I hope you enjoyed it. We went green flag all the way. This time for sure we did. Walker McNulty is James and Michael in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, first of all, before we get to you, Walker, I want to say thanks to Ant Caster for joining us tonight. Ant, we had a great time with you. I hope you did. Sorry about your luck in the race, but we'll catch you tomorrow night on the podcast at 8 p.m., right? Oh, he's already gone. All right. See you tomorrow. But Walker, man, hey, man, first of all, thanks for joining us tonight, man. You had a great race. Just clean and consistent, longest race of the season. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. The strategy was all over the place. I cooked my right front sometime in the second stint whenever I was getting freight trained. I was kind of overdriving a little bit. So after the third stint on that set of tires, the right front was like, I don't know, 37%, I think. It was pretty dead. Then after that, it was just, pace and save fuel and see what I could do. And, I was hoping maybe I could save a whole stop, but it seemed like the only person that could was Brandon Cotton. And whenever I say his name, I just want to say my condolences to him, man. I feel really, really bad for him. He drove an excellent race. So yeah, I really hate it for him.
It's racing, as they say. What do you got for Walker, Michael?
Yeah, that the pit strategy, the carousel there, it was wild. Just keeping it up in the booth. It seemed like every 10 laps somebody was going to be coming in. How did you keep track of everything? Did you have somebody there spotting with you? Did you have a little notepad there, a little diagram to tell you that?
No, well, my dad spots for me at every race where he owns the track. And so, I had him as well as the two guys in the voice chat in the team, Trevor and Brandon Thayer. We were constantly talking about the strategy and what to do and tires, and it was tough to keep up with. I honestly thought that I lost track of it at some point, but I pulled it back together, and also it's really special for me with this livery I'm running. This is
Yeah.
if you've seen it, it's a replica of my dad's AMC street stock, and it's pretty close. It's not exactly the same, but it is pretty special to win, or to not to win, sorry, to be on the podium here at my home track with my dad's car.
And the cool King track showing on the hood there, the slot car track. Is that the Concord repping or the
Yeah, that was so the logo that was on there actually had the King Cobra, which you raced on.
Yep.
But I decided to go with the King since we have a King now at our store, one of our stores, but plus it was the only one that I could find on the internet to use. So
Nice.
so yeah. But yeah, it's really special to to get it done tonight, and 300 laps was very, very grueling, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, your patience paid off. Unfortunately, you got an advantage of some bad luck there from somebody else. Became your good luck. So congrats on a great run, Walker. You had to be there to get it, so you earned it. Don't let anybody take it away from you. And congrats on a great finish. This will help your motivation for the rest of the season, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, James and Michael, for broadcasting this absolute mammoth of a race. And we'll see you guys next week.
Look forward to it. Congratulations, Walker. Good job. P3 was Walker McNulty. Coming up next in second after leading 98% of the race. I would say that's just a nearest guesstimate. Was Ty, I'm sorry, it was Dustin Reinstell in the number 11 car. Dustin, after a win Friday night, we thought for sure you were going to do the double, man, but the longest race of the season with no cautions. Some bad luck for some guys, but you ended up with the win, second place. Congrats.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. I looked down and we had like 11 or 10 pit stops at the start, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this math while I'm in the car. So
Right.
I just kept driving, and then I was just at some point I realized I was going to be at a disadvantage. I think after that first tire call, it put me at a different cycle than everybody else. So if a caution would have come out at some point before the last couple of stops, it would have been pretty good. But I just honestly went for the most laps led after a little while. So I got that, got the 0x. Should be in third for sure, but unfortunately, well, I'll take second, but definitely should be in third. Hate that for Cotton. But yeah, pretty good race. Hats off to everybody that kept it clean out there. It was pretty fun. We were kind of joking that it could go green the whole way. So didn't really think it would go green the whole way, but it did. So that was pretty cool.
What you got for Dustin there, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, the truck series usually more caution-filled affair than the Cup series. I kind of figured we were going to end up going all the way ourselves as well. And, you ran out front almost all night long. I thought it was just going to be the U show until we get towards the final. When did it hit you that I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but did you think at all about short pitting there around the same time that Cotton or Ty might have gone in, or?
I followed Ty in on the last stop, the short pit, the last one, but they were able to save, I believe, one stop more than I did because I didn't save fuel at all through the whole run. So I kind of knew with about four or five pit stops left that depending on if there was a caution or not and how it fell, that I could either come out with a huge lead on Ty, or if it fell on the one that it did fall on, that I would end up with like a couple second lead, and then he would pass me on fresh tires. So I kind of realized that with about four stops left. So I definitely would have loved to have had a caution at some point.
Yeah, I think we all needed a little stretch of our legs, or at least stretch your fingers out. But didn't didn't happen tonight, Dustin. You played it out just right, flat out. The only speed that you know, man, and it paid off for you tonight with the podium. Really came down that last run, but man, congrats, Dustin. We're all really happy for you as you continue to work on the season, man. Race 6, so lots of racing left. We'll look for you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And again, hats off to Ty for pulling that strategy out. It was fun to sit there and try to think back and forth about what the other person was going to do.
Yeah, buddies, we go road course racing next week. That's and we know you're good at road courses, but so is Ty and so is Brandon. So we look forward to a great race next week.
Yeah, it used to be like a guaranteed top 5, and now you got to work for it. Got so many good road guys in here, so should be fun.
You're one of them. We know you'll be there. We look for it. See you, Dustin. Congrats on a great second place tonight.
Thank you guys for all you do.
Thanks, Dustin, for all you do, our social media guy. And up next, we have our winner of the race, Ty Williams, saved an extra set of tires for that last stop and was able to put them on and run down the leader at the time. Well, second place at the time. Oops. Sorry, Ty. I just put him in the wrong one. Hang on 1 second. See if I can get him back. Where'd he
Come
go?
back.
Nope, I sent him to the wrong one.
Attaboy.
I can't even find him. I sent him to podcast and he left. Let me see if I can get him back. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I found him. Dustin, maybe you can server mute and unmute when you get him. He comes up, broadcast. All right. I think you're there. You there, Ty?
He's there. He's just muted.
All right. Give me 1 sec. I'll get him. Sorry about this, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me. We got Ty in. I just got to hit the right button this time. Ty, it's James and Michael in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Man, it's been a long night for everybody, including the booth, but we finally got it worked out. Ty, congrats, man. Longest race of the season is behind us now, and you brought it home with the W. You had to earn it, though. There were a couple of times, even on that last run, to chase Dustin down. It looked like you had a roadblock there with 73 and 24, I think, but you played it right, put on the binders just in time, and got around him, and then put on the chase to Dustin. What was that like? It was fun here watching you.
Oh man, this race was it was a mental strain from the very get go. Just with all the pit stops, I literally have a notebook next to me about, all right, when should I pit, when should I take tires, and how it would work. And luckily that strat worked. And I guess cycle Dustin got him 10 laps less on fuel, and we're able to capitalize on that about halfway through the race. I'm like, all right, this is for the race win going against him. And first off, hats off to Brandon Cotton, me, him, Cunningham. We all work together. And we were really all looking good for this race, especially Brandon. If what happened didn't happen to him, and he didn't get unlucky with that, I'm
Right.
100% sure he would have won. Because I don't think I would have caught him. He's saved a tremendous amount of tire through the first 100 laps and was able to hold on to 3 sets with 100 to go. So hats off to him. I know. He always has these crazy strats, but he finds a way. And so today should have been his day, but I'm happy I was there to just capitalize it, and we could try and fight Dustin on both ends, whether it be alternate strategy or kind of like a straight up race. So yeah, it was definitely fun chasing him down. I knew 25 laps to go. I was pretty sure I would catch him just with the tire difference. a good 15 lap difference, and the lap cars did give me a scare for a second. I tried to go 3 wide, and
Yeah.
I saw that hole closed up, and I backed out of it and hit the wall pretty square on, and it actually gave me wheel damage, but it really didn't affect the car. It almost made it feel better, but I don't know, maybe 10 more laps and it would have been, turning like a tractor. So, but regardless, this was a very, very fun, mental straining race. I love races like this where it really puts the driver, um, the driver really makes the difference, and how they manage the car throughout an entire race.
Right. You're playing the long game for sure. I could tell that was your motivation. What kind of discipline does it take to know that you're on, the third stint? Because you had to do 3 stints on at least 2 sets of tires. So the discipline that it takes to, look in the mirror, see who's coming, watch the relative, let them go, give them room, like kind of, you know, let them anticipate where you're going so they can know where they need to go to get around you without causing either one of you to hold up. I mean, and then to watch what would normally, I wouldn't call anybody a back marker, but you know what I mean? To let somebody like that go, knowing that you're going to come back to it. What kind of discipline does it take, and how do you keep your head straight?
Yeah, it just during the race, you gotta figure out who you're fighting and who you're racing against, and kind of pick and choose your battles so you don't, tear up your car. And for a minute, I was kind of running a little bit hard, going against Jason Huffman, because
Yeah,
he was on basically the same strat at me, and
yeah.
I found out that he had pit some or sped in the pit lane at some point, so I kind of took him out of that equation. He was really the only other guy around me that was on the same strat as me. So, but after that happened, just seeing all the different gaps and where we all were, I knew who I was fighting, and coming to the end, it was going to be between me, Dustin, and Brandon. If what happened to Brandon didn't happen, and yeah, after that, then it was just a fight between me and Dustin.
Well, it was fun to watch you run them down. Once again, hey, Michael, you got questions for Ty before we wrap it up?
So yeah, so Ty, you just take command of the season here with your 3 wins on the season. As this was just a big slog, I'm sure it was awesome that we were able to stay up front and have that chance to have the win. Unfortunate again what happened to Brandon there, but after all this and everything, I'm sure you want to take a slight break here. But we're heading to Indy Road Course next week. What do you? How do you game plan from doing 300 laps on this 1.5 mile quad oval here to going to that road course there in the famous Speedway, Indiana?
Yeah, I've never ran the next gen at Indy Road Course, so it'll be quite a bit of practicing this week. And I really do look forward to that race because it is fairly, it's very flat. A lot of throttle control needed to handle it around that track. So I look forward to it, and hopefully we can, go back to back. My goal this year is really just be consistent. I feel like on pace, and with the races we have had this year, where you only get maybe one caution throughout the entire race. I feel like on pace, I should at least be top five every race. So, um, yeah, that's just the goal. Just keep being consistent, and just keep racing my race, and results will come.
Third win of the season for Ty Williams. Congrats, man. Awesome racing. Go stretch your legs, man. You earned it. We'll look for you next week at Indy, like Michael said.
Yep, I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all then.
Thanks, Ty. That's your winner, Ty Williams from Snellville, Georgia. Doing it again. Michael, we saw some awesome racing tonight. Thank you for joining me so much, man. I wouldn't want to do it without you. And congrats to all the racers that participated tonight. You got any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
I just say between the schemes, between the clean racing, I don't know where else you'd want to go for racing than Midwest Motorsports, but I look forward to joining everybody next week or next weekend at Indy Road here with you, James. And yeah, just hope we get some awesome racing from there.
Look forward to it. Thanks so much, Michael, for joining me. Thanks to all the Midwest Motorsports admins that make this awesome league what it is. Couldn't and wouldn't want to do it without you. For Michael Ayers Jr., I'm James J., reminding you to stay in your lane.